Think of your essence, your core character, as a powerful lamp that's just been switched on in an otherwise dark, dusty space. People aren't reacting negatively to the lamp itself. They are reacting to the sudden, unavoidable clarity of the light. The light instantly exposes the floating dust, highlights the neglected corners, and makes visible the cobwebs that had been comfortable in the dark. That's why you see shifty eyes and smiles that instantly freeze. Light is an exposer, yes, but it is also a guide. Take a deep, steady breath. You were never created to dim your intensity just so others could remain comfortably asleep in their own unexamined routines. Let's speak this powerful identity over ourselves, slowly and deliberately, as you exhale all fear and doubt. I am not a problem. I am a signal. Other people may lack the appropriate, precise language to describe the frequency you carry, but the spiritual realm understands it perfectly. You are quite literally marked for clarity where confusion has pitched its tent. You are marked for divine order where chaos has taken up residence. And you are marked for merciful grace where bitterness has constructed its defensive walls. When they sense that profound mark, reactions will split. Some will instinctively move toward your light for warmth and safety. Others will squint and nervously retreat. Regardless of how they react, the lamp, your inner light, must remain lit. You are not required to apologize for the illumination you bring. You absolutely must not negotiate with anyone over the strength of your inherent shine. Place your hand gently over your heart and whisper this so your very bones can hear it. I am not a problem. I am a signal. If this deep-seated truth resonates with your spirit, affirm it now. And before we dive deeper into this revelation, I'd ask you to support this message so it can reach the people who need it most. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and let 99 be your code that you stand for the light that both exposes and ultimately heals. You possess a specific, subtle, and undeniable spiritual frequency, akin to a tuning fork vibrating silently but powerfully. You enter a room and you vibrate at your true note, and everything around you that's out of tune begins to buzz, hum, or rattle in discord. This vibration isn't an act of aggression. It is simply revelation. The palpable discomfort you feel from others is usually a sign of exposure, not a sign that you've caused an offense. People aren't truly mad at your sound. They are startled by what your sound reveals about the current state of their own internal notes. Consider a vial of rare, concentrated oil suddenly unstoppered in a small, closed-off space. The air instantly changes. Some individuals will inhale deeply, instantly recognizing the arrival of beauty and purity. Others will flinch or feel an ache because that purity is stinging an area where a counterfeit or an old wound has been hidden and comfortable. But observe this, no one can genuinely ignore the fragrance. You didn't have to preach or perform a single act. You simply brought what you naturally carry. Light operates with the same effect. The moment it appears, unseen truths, the dust, become visible. Light never points a finger of accusation. It simply reveals. And revelation is the catalyst that forces a choice. Clean up or conceal further. Open the window to let the fresh air in, or hastily draw the curtain to cling to the dark. This is the fundamental reason why some faces will instantly harden when you walk in, while other hearts will instinctively soften. The key difference is never about your value. It is solely about their willingness to step into the light's demands. You are engineered to be light. Light never asks permission to shine brightly. Lamps do not apologize to the darkness that surrounds them. They simply stand, they serve, and they stay constant. Walk into every situation like a powerful lighthouse. Maintain a steady beam, a solid base, and a quiet, steady soul. Some vessels navigating the storm will immediately correct their course toward your safety and clarity. Others will stubbornly turn away because accepting that safety demands a surrender of their own reckless trajectory. Regardless of their choice, the lighthouse never ever dims its beam to accommodate or protect anyone's ego. It shines to preserve lives. You must accept this reality without bitterness. You will be continually misunderstood by those who desperately cling to the fog rather than face the demanding clarity. Remember the sting of antiseptic on a deep open wound in the hospital. It hurts sharply for a moment, but that burning sensation is the proof that the cleansing process has begun and true healing is now possible. Your presence can feel exactly like that, a brief burning sensation that signifies that cleansing has started. Do not mistake their immediate flinch for actual hatred. Sometimes it's actually a sign of hope waking up beneath years of scar tissue. Take another deep breath. When you enter any room, Do it with deliberate slowness and purpose. Let your internal peace precede your words. Adjust your shoulders to their proper position, back, not meekly bowed. Silently, confidently, claim your rightful space. Say within yourself, I stand as light. When you feel tension pressing in, actively lower your voice's volume, but never concede an inch on your value. Regulate your own breath, and the atmosphere of the entire room will subtly take its cue from your controlled internal climate. You are not, I repeat, not responsible for the chaotic emotional weather of the people around you, but you are absolutely accountable for the climate of your own soul. Keep your inner gauge consistently set to calm, clarity, and truth. Stop the habit of constantly over-apologizing for the simple fact of being a whole and complete human being. Stop actively shrinking your massive potential just to make others feel more comfortable in their own turbulence. If a glass on a shelf rattles as a powerful train rushes by, the issue isn't the glass. It's that the track, you are that track, is alive and moving beneath it. Your mere existence and movement announce a powerful reality. You must train your entire nervous system to consistently interpret reactions you receive as confirmation of your path, rather than a condemnation of your character. Feel the firm, steady rhythm in your chest, slow, steady, and royal. When the shadow of gossip circles you, let the sheer excellence of your fruit be the only answer. When eyes roll, let your unshakable focus write a completely different, positive headline. When silence becomes heavy, respond with a gentle, merciful smile. The room is simply negotiating with the light you've introduced. You don't need to win every single argument or debate. The light has already won the field. Your job is simply to remain standing, and as you remain, you must continually refine the scent of your atmosphere. Let gratitude be your deep bass note, integrity be your steady heart note, and wisdom be your brilliant top note. Gratitude disarms envy. Integrity silences all suspicion. Wisdom always dictates the perfect timing. Share less of your insights when the curiosity is purely carnal and seeking gossip. Share more when you sense the genuine, holy hunger for truth. If you sense hostility, your directive is simple. Do not escalate. Elevate. Lift the entire atmosphere with a quick, governing sentence that exerts authority without striving. Peace. Be still here. Then, with quiet assurance, continue your assignment exactly as if that decree has already flawlessly worked. This is because true authority is almost always recognized by the spiritual realm before it is ever verbally admitted by people. Put your hand over your chest one final time and quietly, without any need for dramatics, settle your identity. I am not a problem. I am a signal. Signals are designed purely for navigation, not for flimsy validation. Ships don't waste time arguing with the lighthouse. They make a definitive decision based on its guidance. You must keep shining, keep breathing, and keep walking forward. And just when the room believes it has figured out your rhythm, something astonishing will occur. The most resistant person will unexpectedly circle back to you with a deep question they never intended to ask, a confession they never planned to make, or an opening they swore they would never provide. When that door cracks open, the wisdom and truth you release next will change their entire trajectory. Stop picking up those spiritual daggers with other people's fingerprints on them and calling them your fault. The energy that moves against you rarely knows your personal name. It only recognizes your divine assignment. This is fundamentally spiritual, not personal. Picture a courtroom where the case appears to be you versus them. But the real trial is between compromise and conviction, between sleepy passivity and lucid, vibrant purpose. You walk in carrying a clean, divine currency, truth, consistency, and prayer, and every counterfeit bill in the room begins to panic in your presence. People who don't have the appropriate language for the anointing on your life will borrow the only vocabulary they know: sarcasm, whispers, and avoidance. They aren't truly naming you. They are negotiating desperately with the profound pressure your presence puts on their own unmade, lingering choices. Rejection, therefore, is frequently proof of your selection, not evidence of any deficiency. That door that slams shut in your face is sometimes just heaven's way of rerouting you from a small, insignificant room to a high, vital embassy. Ambassadors do not loiter where the treaties and covenants of your life are openly mocked. Step back, straighten your posture again, and remember this crucial principle. Promotions from God often arrive disguised as exclusions from people. Your integrity acts as a clear mirror that flatters no one. When that mirror is held up, Some people simply see a face that needs serious washing. They might call the mirror cruel, but the mirror is never cruel. It is just clear. This explains why someone who was nice can turn cold in an afternoon, why invitations suddenly dry up, and why eyes cut sideways when you simply and quietly do the right thing without any fanfare. Your quiet diligence exposes their shortcuts. Your respectful silence exposes their hidden agendas. Your deep internal peace exposes their addiction to unnecessary drama. These negative reactions are never an accurate measurement of your worth. They are simply weather reports of a storm that you did not cause. So change how you read the forecast. When the atmosphere gets strange and the social temperature drops around your name, treat it as a systems alert. Unseen warfare detected. Increase prayer covering. Lock down your schedule. Close all casual doors and move forward as if spiritual cameras are actively watching, because in the spirit they are. This is why whisper campaigns feel so damaging. Not because the words are factually true, but because the assignment behind them is actively trying to glue doubt to your identity. Resist the temptation to constantly defend yourself in every hallway. Defense is a full-time, exhausting job for those who have forgotten they already have an advocate fighting for them. Your primary job is alignment with your divine purpose. Speak like a commander, not a timid applicant. Under your breath, set your firm stance. I won't beg for rooms I outgrew. I carry peace. I won't trade it for approval. Say it slower, allowing your entire nervous system to register the decree. I won't beg for rooms I outgrew. I carry peace. I won't trade it for approval. Watch what happens when you finally stop auditioning for approval. Some doors that pretended to be walls will quietly swing open, while others will clearly reveal themselves as dead-end trap stages. Let discernment, not loneliness. Choose the people you keep close. Remember the examples. The coworker who smiled until ethical standards blocked their shortcut. Suddenly you're difficult. The neighbor who waved until your healthy boundary interrupted their gossip. Supply, now you're cold. The relative who loved your trauma until your healing threatened their victim. Narrative. Now they try to rewind you back into the small, limiting role you outgrew. In every case, it's not personal. It is positional. Your life is an embassy. Some passports simply won't scan. Refuse to allow the smuggling of old patterns across your border. Stamp denied on manipulation, on flattery with a hidden hook, and on invitations that will compromise your clarity. When you must speak, keep it surgical. Few words, clean sharp edges. People project discomfort when your integrity highlights their compromise, yes, but they also desperately reach for transformation when your stability offers them a ladder to climb. This is the great paradox. The same presence that agitates the carnal also powerfully magnetizes the seeker. Hold your line of integrity long enough, and the very ones who publicly mocked you will eventually come knocking, not to fight, but to learn the secret of your peace. Remember in your bones, selection always creates a necessary separation before it creates a celebration. A seed is selected, then buried in the dark. A soldier is selected, then sent to the silent, solitary training range. A prophet is selected, then misunderstood by the very city they were sent to bless. Let the divine timeline work. Keep your heart soft, your boundaries absolutely firm, and your calendar holy. Refuse to be dragged into petty brawls designed to stain your mantle. When the heat rises, drink water, not emotional gasoline. Pray names privately. Don't post them publicly. Rejection is not exile. It is an escort, leading you away from the temporary crown and towards the throne room where your true assignments are decided. Breathe now and affirm your line in the sand. I won't beg for rooms I outgrew. I carry peace. I won't trade it for approval. Let those words settle on your tongue like iron, heavy and sure. The moment you stop negotiating with lesser distractions, patterns in your life will irrevocably break. Watch closely. The one who has avoided you for weeks will suddenly need counsel they can't Google. The meeting that excluded you will dissolve without your stability. A soft knock will come, an invitation through a side door you didn't know existed. And what waits behind that door will ask you to choose. Comfort or calling, being liked for a moment, or being useful for a generation. You are not being ignored. You are being incubated. This invisibility is often a divine strategy so precise that it feels like total silence while it's actually careful choreography. Seeds disappear beneath the surface. The impatient call it death, but heaven calls it preparation. The soil's darkness is a womb, not a tomb. Down where no applause can reach and no rumor can interfere, Your roots make their quiet contract with depth. It's always roots before fruits, because public weight without underground strength is a tree destined to snap in the very first storm. You are being hidden like treasure under the earth, not to deny you light, but to ensure that when the light finally comes, you won't be easily ripped from the ground by the first gust of attention or fame. Think of David, anointed in the back room while the crowd worshipped his taller brothers. Overlooked is not over. It is the protocol of protection. The quiet field trains the instincts that the noisy palace will test. Obscurity is never punishment. It is training with the volume turned down so you can hear the critical subtleties that will save nations later on. Your hidden season is not a waste. It is a vital editing process. It cuts out the scenes that play well to crowds but would collapse under the weight of your destiny. You learn to do the right thing when there is no audience to feed your ego. You learn the quiet mathematics of mastery. Small, faithful units multiplied by time equals authority that does not tremble when challenged. Treat your hidden season like an internship with heaven. Show up to your assignment even if nobody clocks you in or gives you credit. Build your craft until excellence becomes muscle memory. Write until your sentences carry genuine weight. Practice until your delivery owns the air. Study until your eyes recognize nuance and subtle shifts. Build your prayer stamina until stillness stops feeling like emptiness and begins to feel like pure oxygen. Train your discernment like a musician trains their pitch. Ask yourself, does this urge lead to order or to chaos? Clarity or confusion? Service or spectacle? Protect your schedule with the same jealousy a farmer guards a planting window. Some invitations are actually hailstorms dressed like friendships. Decline politely and keep sowing the seeds of your purpose. Excellence is your apology to no one. You owe it not as a performance for critics, but as profound gratitude for the very breath you carry. Pour yourself into work that would frankly embarrass shortcuts. If people misread your absence from their circle, bless them and remain in your field. A shepherd cannot abandon the lambs to please a table that confuses noise with significance. In this hiddenness, heaven will send you small, specific tests, a task with no credit line, a chance to correct an error no one would notice, an opportunity to honor someone who can't repay you, a moment to forgive quietly without the trophy of being seen as merciful. Pass these tests. Each one upgrades your unseen spiritual resume. As you pass them, the soil around you will begin to shift in ways others cannot perceive. Doors you never knocked on will start to unlock from the inside. Skills you didn't think were spiritual will suddenly become solutions that others call miraculous. You will discover that obscurity has gifted you with reflexes crowds rarely develop. The reflex to listen before leaping, the reflex to bless before branding, the reflex to pause when flattered and move only when commanded. You will also learn to endure the tension that destroys many. You will feel ready, while God still says stay, and you will feel completely unready the day he whispers go. That precise paradox is how he proves you trust him more than your own timing. Guard your mornings like sacred ground. No endless scrolling before scripture, no gossip before gratitude. Give your afternoons to the work that cannot be faked, the kind that turns sweat into skill. Give your evenings to honest review and intercession. What did I build? What did I break? What did I bless? Keep short accounts with your own soul. While you are off the public radar, let humility and holy ambition become allies. Humility says, I am not the source. Holy ambition says, but I am a conduit and the voltage will be high. Let service be your operating system. Clean the unseen corner. Pray the prayer no one will ever hear. Beware the counterfeit visibility that arrives too early. A platform offered by impatience is often a trapdoor covered in glitter. If you can be bought with applause, you can certainly be sold with silence. Choose substance. Choose the long obedience. Choose to be heavy enough to hold what you asked for. And here is the mystery that fuels hope. While days blur on earth, heaven schedules announcements while men spread assumptions. There is a specific moment already plotted. A moment when the very voices that dismissed you as forgotten will be forced to learn a new word. Summoned. A letter sealed with oil, a name called in a room you never entered, an assignment that fits you like a garment tailored in the dark. You will step forward and suddenly realize the hiding was never a delay. It was a vault, a place of secure preparation. And just as you reach for that sealed letter, just as your fingers touch the warm wax, something profound will shift. A voice you haven't heard in years will speak your name with a weight that makes the room tilt. Walk your path like a king in hiding, steady, unhurried, already crowned inside. Breathe now and let the truth crystallize in your bones. You carry a mark. Your light exposes. Rejection reframes. Hidden seasons refine. Your story unlocks. Warfare validates. This is not theory. This is your unshakable identity. You were never built to chase rooms. You were built to change the weather. You don't audition. You announce. You don't plead. You simply presence. You do not need to explain your flame to those who prefer the dark. You lift your chin and you let clarity speak without shouting. Hear me and repeat this in your spirit until the walls memorize your cadence. You are not a rumor. You are a reminder, not a threat. A signal marked, reserved, released. Again, short, sharp, sovereign. You are not a rumor. You are a reminder, not a threat. A signal marked, reserved, released. May every room you enter align to order. May the oil that found you in private now guard you in public. May your boundaries be secure gates, your words be instruments of truth, and your footsteps be answers to prayer. Now rise, shoulders back, breath slow, eyes clear. Walk like the map is already in your pocket and the signal has already been sent. Walk like a testimony with legs. Walk like tomorrow is listening. If this word hit the center of you, stamp it now. Type I am marked and I won't hide. Seal it. Go in strength. Go in peace.